Hey, what's up, YouTube? How you guys doing today? Today we're going to go over the older Battlerites and loadouts. Let's check it out. Let's go over his Battlerites first of all. We got Dehydration. Time Bomb reduces incoming healing by 20%, ongoing damage by 10%. This is a really good right. I could see using it in a lot of matchups. Sometimes it's a must pick. We're going to go over the... First of all, we're going to go over all the Battlerites first, and then I'll do loadouts later. So... Just the healing alone, the 20% healing reduction on the M1s is worth it. You know, the 10% damage reduction is just like a bonus. Really good, right? Shared Fate, Time Bomb deals 2 bonus damage, explodes, doing AoE. Another really good right. If this right was just Time Bomb deals 2 additional damage, it would still be a good right. So the AoE, whenever that procs, is just a nice... present for you. Renew, Rejuvenating Sand applies a renew effect, healing the target for 6 health after 3.5 seconds. I still think this is a must pick. I would want to see like its stats on how effective the renew health is, but with Oldur he doesn't have a lot of supporty abilities or like healing in general, right? So when you can get it, you have to get it. Rewind, Rejuvenating Sands reduces target's abilities cooldowns by 6%. It's an okay, right? You pretty much would always have this, like, on your teammates, right? Because it's applied by the M2. But I don't know how noticeable the 6 seconds actually is. I'm never... Like, before this was on, like, a certain round, and you'd get it because the round Battlerites wasn't that good. But I was never like, oh... I got that 6-second cooldown reduction, saved my life. You know, it's not very noticeable. I don't think I'd ever pick it now. Chrono Shift. Shifting Sands creates a lesser chrono flux that reflects projectiles, slows movements. So you space, it creates a little mini bubble, reflects stuff. I think in certain matchups you can get it. Most of the time you don't space for the bubble though. You space to get your positioning or for your heal, but you never space to try to get that value. So the value from the bubble just, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Certain matchups, that's good. Passive Time Shifting Sands deals 4 bonus damage and inflicts a 1-second fading snare. This makes your space do, I think, 12 damage. Right, and it has that 1-second fading snare, which is okay. I think it's matchup dependent. Let's say you're going against Rushdown with a couple melee, and they're rushing down your teammate. You space through them, you get that 12 damage, and you also get the healing on your teammate. Because Oldur's all about, he doesn't have a lot of healing, right? He just has his M2. You try to mitigate damage through your bubble usage, through your R, but not like actual healing. So you have to use your spaces like extremely efficient for healing as well as your positioning. So you never want to space offensively, right? Which is where you get value on this. So there's only certain situations where you're spacing through your teammate through the heal, but you're also spacing through the enemy getting that bonus damage. I think it's situational. It could be good. Recreate space. Traveling through an ally with Shifting Sands grants the ally a shield absorbing 16 damage, lasting up to 3 seconds. I actually really like this right. You're already spacing through your teammates to get the heal. That's like an extremely important mechanic as an Oldur player, right? So the only problem is to get value for this, they need to take damage afterwards. So getting the spacing through your teammate, they get the 16 shield and they take damage, you get value. But if you space through, they get the shield, no damage, there's no value there. So there's not like consistent value that you're getting with it, but I feel like it's still super clutch. Because a lot of the times, you space as like a last resort to get heal, right? So I feel like a lot of the times it can be a super clutch ability. I like it. I think I would take it. Sandstorm. Your next Sands of Time after using Shifter Sands deals 8 bonus damage. I think in 2s it's good. I've tried it in 3s. And I don't know if it's just because I'm not used to it, but again, it's like it dictates your spaces. Like in 3s, or especially in this game, like your cooldowns are extremely important. So if you space just to get this, like that's like a moment that you can be punished, right? So sometimes you'll have to space backwards between your teammates. You'll get this bonus, but you won't be in range for the M1 afterwards, right? Again, I think it's situational. But I'm always looking for like where I can get consistent value in most of my Battlerite picks. So if you can, especially if you're really knowledgeable about a matchup and you know how it goes and how you can abuse the Sandstorm and always get like consistent value out of it, then it could be good. Drain, absorbing attacks with Time Bender shields you for 16 health. Shield value is reduced for each absorbed attack. The shield lasts up to 3 seconds. The problem with these 3 Battlerites is that Oldur Bubble his XQ is so good. It's one of the best abilities in the game, especially for this guy, right? So, a lot of times you're not even using your Q. It would be just more beneficial to throw a bubble between you and the melee player, right? It pushes him back. He can't walk through it. He can't really get to you again. Or like on a ranged, right? Like, I could see you getting insane value versus a Jade or an Esmo, or even an Iva, right? Through the projectiles, because they shoot multiple projectiles super quickly. So you could, you know, stack the shield and get a 28 shield super quick. But when I think about that, it's like, I could do that, or I could put a bubble between us and I would just reflect all those M1s back into them, right? So I don't think you'd ever get this. Maybe in a super weird matchup. Stolen Power, when you absorb a projectile with Time Bender, you deal 20% increased damage and healing while the projectile is stored in your hourglass. I haven't really messed around with this one too much. I think that conditional is really weird. Like, usually if I'm absorbing a projectile, I want it to be something big, right? I want it to be a Jade Snipe, a Rukon Shadow Bolt. So that 20% increased damage is nice, but I'd much rather just throw that back at the enemy and get that damage instead. So maybe in like a double healer or something where you're just going super aggro. But nothing too consistent with it. Time Walker, absorbing attack with Time Bender, reduces the cooldown of Shifting Sands by 2 seconds. Like, this is the only Q1 I think I would get. Again, it still has that problem where you're using your bubble more often than not. But Oldur, especially when you don't have energy, because what you do on Oldur a lot is you pool your energy for your ult and use it as a secondary escape. Is after you space, you're like somewhat vulnerable, right? So I can see times where getting your Q procced, getting that 2-second reduction would save your life, but again, it's not consistent, right? If you space right away, someone gets on top of you, they hit your Q, you get knocked back. I mean, you're not spacing again, right? Until that CD's up. It's not an instant reset anymore. So a lot of times it's not just the CD counting down, it's like you getting punished right after your space. So it's not going to save you from like a Lucy goo, right? Or a Pearl ult. You're going to space, get your Q procced, and then you're still going to take a lot of damage, right? So not consistent again. Sandstruck, Quicksand can be recast to throw a lesser Quicksand. Quicksand can be recast to throw a lesser Quicksand with half the effect that applies Time Bomb instead of consuming it. So you throw your E, you get a recast window to throw another E, smaller AoE. It doesn't actually consume Time Bomb, it just reapplies it. I like this for like the area of control that it brings. It's really easy to throw your E out, and I think the E's pretty generous AoE, so it's kind of easy to hit. But even if a character or champion is moving out of the AoE, it's super easy to see that movement and then put your lesser Quicksand. So the problem I have with it is that it's a lot of cooldown usage. It's a long time to be not healing. So if you're already if you're in threes and you're playing Oldur, you already have a problem with just pure healing, right? So if you're sitting there casting your M1 E again, X M1, that's 4 ability like cooldowns, CDs. It's like 4 seconds, right? Where you need to, where you could be healing or where you actually might need to be healing. And I don't think the lesser quicksand actually does that much damage. So the more I think about this, the less I like it. It'll be okay. Sand Tomb, quicksand inflicts a 1 second root. It does synergize with Sandstruck. Your lesser quicksand will apply a root, but it's really short comparatively to the big AoE. So I can see it being good if you need that melee peel. Again, just cast it on you or yourself when you're getting rushed down to get that 1 second root. It's okay. It's okay. I like this. I like Time Burst the most out of all the E's. I think Time Burst, you usually get value out of it, right? Because it doesn't change your playstyle. It doesn't change how you play Oldur. You play Oldur, you M1, you E. You know, that's what you do. And so this just amplifies that playstyle. It just consumes the time bomb with a quicksand, deals 6 bonus damage. You M1, you throw your E on, you just get a lot of damage. So I like it, yeah. The reason why it doesn't synergize with this one is because the lesser quicksand does not consume time bomb. It applies it. Reversal, time travel restores 50% of all health the target lost during the last 2 seconds. I don't know if it even works. I would never pick it. Seems weird. Yeah, those are all his rites. Let's go over some loadouts. Let's see. Default loadout. Cookie cutter loadout. Let's see. I really think this is why we need advanced stats. I don't know how much value Renew gets, but I just know he does not heal a lot, so he needs some extra healing through Renew. Throw that on there. Time Burst. Ooh, let's do the must picks. I feel like the must picks are Renew, Time Burst. Maybe not must picks, but picks or rights you can choose like in any matchups and not feel like super gutted, right? Or at a disadvantage. Those 3 for sure, I think. Yeah. Obviously, in certain matchups, you'll get more value out of dehydration, but I still think it's just so good. Yeah, so I would start with these 3 as the base, and then based on matchups, I would probably switch the last 2. I think you can get away with getting Shared Fate, because again, it doesn't change this playstyle. You're getting consistent value out of the Time Bomb, dealing 2 bonus damage. I think when you're playing against certain compositions, you get even more value through the AoE. Think about Paloma, Varesh. They're always close together. You get that AoE value. Any like Pestilence matchup, any Blossom matchup, because you're getting probably that, especially Blossom, you're getting that AoE damage value at the same time. But like I said before, if you just had the deals 2 bonus damage, would still be like a really good rite. So yeah. And then the fourth one, I think I would just get Recreate, just because it's so clutch. Either Recreate or Chrono Shift. Chrono Shift, you just don't get that much value. It can be annoying though. But I think Recreate, it just doesn't change your playstyle, and it can come in the clutch a lot of the times. Yeah. Yep. I think this last one you could probably switch around based on whatever you wanted to do. Chrono Shift versus like a Jade, even a Paloma, trying to get the Wolf. Anything with like those long-range, high nuke abilities. recreate, I think, just fits more cookie cutter into most matchups. Like we said before, Sandstorm in a niche matchup, Passage of Time, and some. And then maybe Time Walker if you feel really pressured. That 2 seconds might save you. Or maybe not. Who knows? That's the older Battlerites and Loadout. Thanks for watching, guys. This is another Battlerites Loadout video brought to you by Niwa. Thanks for watching. See ya.